What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome into the CHGO Bulls Podcast, presented to you by PointsBet. Don't forget that promo code CHGO when signing up your PointsBet account to live your bet life. What's going on, everybody? Happy Friday, Bulls Nation. I'm Peck. You can follow me on Twitter at Bulls_Peck. Across from me is the GOAT, Will Gottlieb. Follow him at Won't Gottlieb on Twitter. Downstairs hanging out is Big Dave. Follow him at BAWL Sports. We are at CHGO_Bulls. And there's our producer and our pal, Joey, popping in to help out with the bowling. Gentlemen, how are we? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you, Matt. I actually want to thank you right now because I know you're in Mish, right? You're in Peck Manor in Mish right now, I believe.
I am at the Mish house, baby.
So Matt, last time, Will, when he went there, he brought me some blackberry preserves, which are absolutely incredible and delicious. And because of Matt, without Matt's help, I would not have been able to create this vegan breakfast delight that I have come up with. It's a pita pocket. It's a pita pocket, right? Toasted. And I put the blackberry raspberry joint in there. I put that in there with some Beyond sausage and some sweet potato hash browns. And I put all that in that pocket. And it is just absolutely delicious. And what sets it off is the Matt Peck preserves that he gave me. I could not have done it without you, Matthew. Thank you very much.
I'm sure he was very much intending to get you going on a vegan diet with that.
I'm sure he was.
Yeah.
As long as you have your side of athletic greens, and that sounds like a great breakfast. Breakfast of champions.
Actually, you know what that black raspberry jam is really good on?
What's that?
A breakfast sandwich with several strips of bacon and some greasy fried eggs. Mwah, delicious. Maybe a sausage patty on there.
I had sausage, Beyond sausage. It was on
sausage.
It was delicious, Matt. You would love it. I promise you.
Take that out of the package and you put it right in the toilet. That's where that goes.
You'll love it.
Will, how are you, my friend? How's Brazil?
Sorry, guys. My audio cut out there for a second. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. I was just saying, how are you? How's Brazil?
Brazil is good. I'm excited to have a weekend. I feel like I've been talking a lot this week. The people need a break from my voice.
Well, that's a lie.
Yeah, I don't think that's true. Shout out to Salim who just popped into the comments.
Hey, Salim, the dream. Shout out.
All right, so Fun Friday. We're gonna have some fun today. You guys may have seen it recently. I want to say like the last week of May, Slam released their top 75 NBA teams of all time. And we are going to dive into where our Bulls 6 championship teams rank in those top 75 and kind of nitpick and see if we have any gripes about how those Bulls championships or teams are ranked compared to one another. And then anything as far as teams that are in the top 10 and shouldn't be, or teams that aren't in the top 10 and should be, and have all kinds of fun with that. But before we do that, we're going to do something that we like to call See Red Carpet, where we talk about the fits and the styles and the threads, as the young people say, of NBA players making their entrances. And Jayson Tatum, I feel like, look at that beautiful graphic from our guy Joey right there.
Well done.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Expect
Jayson
nothing
Tatum
less than greatness.
Deserves so much respect for the way that he has made his entrances into the first 3 NBA Finals games. You guys, we were like, you know what? We actually have to do an all Tatum version of See Red Carpet because he's looked that fly coming in. With maybe one exception. I don't know how you guys feel about one of these outfits.
Okay.
So, Joey, may we look at our Tatum lineup here? Okay.
Ooh. Ooh, all right.
So in the center, you see that was his entrance for game 1.
Mm-hmm.
You got a lot going on there.
Yeah, the Two-Face, as I like to call that ensemble right there. You know what? I didn't like it at first, guys, until I saw the shoes. And the shoes match the jacket perfectly. They are so dope. And for me, when I saw that, I was in. I was completely in on it. And I said, I'm going to let it ride. You look like a super villain, but a fly super villain. So I completely will roll with this.
I like the matching cuffs. I'm into it.
Oh,
it's definitely one of those outfits.
Right.
It's one of those outfits where you're like, well, I can't really decide what to wear, so I'm just gonna wear everything. But
I like. It's weird that the cuffs with like the leopard print match one of the lapels.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like it should just be, if you're going opposites, that the left cuff should match the right lapel of the leopard print, but that the right cuff should be pink, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the left lapel is. I don't know. But the thing that my brain thinks of when I look at that is like the old, you guys remember like the rectangular cube shaped ice cream that came in the 3 flavors, you know, like the vanilla, the strawberry, the chocolate. Neapolitan. Thank you. I couldn't remember the name for it. Because of him with the very crisp, very clean looking white undershirt underneath that jacket, and then the pink and the black, I'm like, that's a Neapolitan ice cream.
You look like ice cream, bro.
Yeah.
You look. So you're saying he looks delicious.
He does.
So you're saying that. Can I ask a quick question? When you guys ate Neapolitan ice cream, what section was always the one left?
I was pretty equal across the board. I love vanilla. I love chocolate. I love strawberry. They're all good.
Okay. Will?
I would say chocolate. I like chocolate for sure. It's like the best, but straight chocolate ice cream is for some reason not my favorite.
Will is correct. That is the right answer.
It's better with other stuff.
There's no correct answer, Dave.
Sure it is. It's a correct. No, Matt, you're right.
I think I'm right.
Yeah, he's right. Matt's right for, the fat man side of me. I'm gonna eat it all. That's gonna happen.
Oh, I'm definitely eating it all, but I'm saying
right. But chocolate is coming last. Yes, chocolate is gonna go last.
Yeah, I would say if I had to pick a least favorite among those, I would probably go chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
But it can't just be vanilla. I like vanilla to be paired with something. Say, like a la mode with like a fresh baked pie. But dude, just like good strawberry ice cream, I could just eat that all freaking day. It's delicious.
In the comments, they say, honestly, surprised Matt isn't strongly anti-strawberry ice cream. Would have guessed it was way too fruity or close to vegetables.
Hey, I like fruits. Vegetables are, give and take, whatever. Actually, up here in northern Michigan this time of year, some fresh asparagus that grows up here. Holy crap. I mean, you got to dress it up. I never thought I would hear. But
fresh asparagus up here.
It's not like I eat zero vegetables. Like I'm not Kevin from The Office. I do eat vegetables. I just prioritize them way, way, way lower than the good stuff, like your meat and your carb. Because those are the 2 big food groups that people should be eating from the most.
All this sounds like is Peck is with his family and he has to eat these asparagus because mom's around and she ain't gonna stand for that. That's what this sounds like.
I just had the biggest serving of my mom's potato salad at lunch just now.
Awesome.
And a brat, of course, because it's
the
brat is the staple of the Michigan house diet. But I also ate 2 pickles, so there's your vegetables right there. Boom.
I take my wins while I can get them, Will.
There is some green on that, so I guess it counts.
It's green. It's a vegetable. Joey, can you throw up these Tatum fits again? Okay. I do like this like all baby blue outfit that he's got going on the left, including the sneakers. It's a very, very sick thread. And that one's kind of blurry because it was just a screenshot of a video of him making his entrance. Right. So it's hard to tell, but the glasses that he's wearing in that outfit are also like super fly looking glasses. Wow. And I'm guessing they are, a lot of NBA players these days are wearing glasses as like fashion pieces and not necessarily because they need them to see. Not, not like Wendell Carter Jr., our old pal. But to me,
why is Wendell always catching strays on this podcast?
It just happens.
Because he probably deserves something.
I love you, Wendell.
Yeah. I'm sure that our pal Mark K doesn't appreciate all the Wendell strays that go on here too. But where are you, Mark? Come defend your boy Wendell. But I look at that kind of blue, and it's a little bit lighter than Tar Heel blue, but it reminds me more of Tar Heel blue, and that's kind of the confusing part to me because Tatum is a Duke guy.
Ooh, wow, you're right about that. I guess when you get money, all blues are your blues. I think that's kind of how that goes.
The whole spectrum of blues.
Yeah, all the blues he can roll with it. But I think honestly this is a more interesting choice because I get the all blue, I get it, but it's the shirt and the undershirt underneath that's interesting to me. Like he could have just went with the actual button up and rolled with that, but wanted to go extra blue. And went ahead and threw the sleeves with that too. I thought that was an interesting choice.
It's very car mechanic jumpsuit chic. That didn't come out the way I wanted to. Car mechanic jumpsuit chic. There it is.
Say it 5 times. It's impressive.
Yeah, right? Or like he looks like he's gonna go bowling or something. But
right. And I can't tell what it says on the upper left, breast right there, but it looks like it could be like a stitched in name, like on a mechanic's jumpsuit.
Right.
I really hope that says Jason right there on the upper left side.
You are right. It does.
He's got like a greasy towel hang out of his back pocket.
Right. Gonna need a new carburetor, man.
Hayes in the comments saying he's dressed like the Hood Michael Myers.
Okay. I hear you.
Yeah, okay. I could see that. Now, gentlemen, we have to get to what I saved for last because it's my favorite of these 3 outfits.
Okay.
The one on the far right. You've got this black zippy jacket that he's rocking with, again, a crisp white undershirt underneath it. Mm-hmm. And I like how the jacket's a little bit undersized and the white tee is hanging out the bottom. I actually kind of dig that look. I've rocked that look all the time. Yeah. Just because I sometimes still wear hoodies that I have outgrown. But as you see, obviously the center of that piece is Kobe Bryant on the left side, MJ on the right side, both in iconic post-championship clinching moments. Kobe wearing that Lakers leather jacket that he had, sitting on that little stool with the Larry O'Brien in front of him. And then, of course, as you could probably make out there, that is the iconic photo of MJ putting up 3 fingers with a cigar in his mouth after clinching the first three-peat. I mean, if I were more of a Kobe Bryant fan, I would go on the internet and type Kobe MJ titles jacket and buy one for myself.
Well, actually, Matt, to correct you real quick, that's actually 4 fingers he's holding up. Because if you remember, when he was in the home jersey, that's when they won their 4th one, and he was on the road when they won their 3rd one.
Yes.
So that's actually 4 that he's holding up right there. But I do like that jacket very much. And again, the shoes is what really sets it off. He's got on the Jordans right there, which are really setting off the whole entire thing of what is going on with him. And it shows off those leg tattoos. Like Jason Tatum has interesting tattoos because he's got leg tattoos, and those are always more interesting to me because you don't see them as much. I don't know why, but I think Will Gottlieb would get leg tattoos. I just think that just seems like a thing he would do.
Maybe he has them.
Maybe.
I don't have any leg tattoos, but I'm not going to get any, but those are cool. I like those. Also the Paisley shorts. I'm into those too.
Yes.
You said the shoes, fire. I really like that. I like that outfit.
It's a dope outfit.
It's a good one.
It's mostly monochrome on the top, the loud shorts, and then the leg tattoos, the shoes. It works.
Yeah, I mean those Jordans, the white with the trim in red and black. I mean, it just screams Bulls to me. I freaking love that style of Jordans. And the Paisley, as you mentioned, Will, I am a sucker for Paisley. I don't have the authority or the confidence to wear a pair of Paisley shorts like that, but you look on my tie rack in my closet, I got a lot of Paisley ties, and I want
to get some of those Paisley shorts.
One of them.
I would wear those.
You would wear Paisley shorts?
Hell yeah. I think they probably wouldn't look very good on me, but I would do it.
No, he pulled it off.
Mr. Goat, the next time you are back in studio when you have returned from your Brazilian travels, you better be showing up wearing paisley
How much
shorts.
How much do you think those shorts cost?
$400.
Quadruple digits.
Yeah, for sure, hundreds of dollars.
Probably 200. You know, he seems a little frugal, so yeah, probably 200.
We'll see if I can find them. I'll wear those prior to wearing the full Kyle Korver outfit.
Oh yes, I can't wait. 6,000 guys. We get to 6K on the CHGO Bulls account. Kyle Korver, Will Gottlieb is coming in, man, and I can't wait. But Matt, I don't know, Matt. Like, that's interesting. You say that you don't feel like you can pull off the paisley shorts because of confidence. You are the most confident. You come in with the pasty white shoulders out all the time with the tank top and the Birks on all day. Why don't you have the confidence to put on those shorts?
Because that feels like more of a fashion statement, whereas I have no problem with my level of confidence wearing just like a trash person tank top. Like, before you hopped on, I was just chatting with Will saying like, yeah, like, you guys are lucky I actually put on a shirt because I came in from doing some chores out in the driveway. I'm wearing a bathing suit down here right now, and I was not wearing a shirt. And then I just like went into the closet and grabbed the nearest shirt I could find.
Oh my goodness. Well, it's getting work done.
There was a little part of me that was like, can I do this Friday Fun episode just shirtless in a bathing suit? I so wanted to, but I was like, you know what? I'm not going to subject our viewers to that.
Yeah, that's a little bit more fun than we need to be having right now. Did he spit it out? Did I get you?
Nope.
Almost, man. We'll be sneaking them in, man. I'm telling you, he's sneaking them in. I'm telling you, man. Oh my God.
Meanwhile, Barton in the comments saying Will is hiding a Tyrus Thomas jersey tattoo somewhere for sure.
Yes, sir.
And Salim recommends that you get Gottlieb tatted across your chest. I like that idea.
I'm actually pretty confident that Will, like, I don't know why you're not so confident that you could pull off the paisley shorts. Like, that's a good look for you. Like, that looks sick.
We're taking biracial to a new level.
Because I will
look at the leg pats.
Because
this is Brazil.
Oh my goodness.
Will goes to Brazil for 1 week. He comes back looking like this.
Sweet. Come back flossing on him. Oh my God.
I do like those shorts though. Joey, if you can find those for me, I might have to cop.
Oh man,
awesome. While we've been chatting, I did type into my Google search bar Jayson Tatum paisley shorts, and was disappointed that it did not just immediately pop up with the first result being the shop online link to those shorts he was wearing. So we'll have to dig a little deeper.
Oh man, them celebrities, they'll never want you to know what they're doing.
Do you have any paisley shorts, Dave?
I don't think I do, but I'm not opposed to wearing them. Like, if I find something that I think,
let's get matching paisley shorts.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. If they look dope enough, I'll put it on. I'll promise you that.
Birkenstocks, paisley shorts, ball sweatshirt. Done. We're all wearing it.
Wow. The Birks.
Within reach.
There it is.
Within reach.
He's got
flipping those bad boys right back on and going back outside as soon as we're done.
Oh, the official shoe of Matt Peck. Does everybody in your family have some Birks, Matt? Everybody in Peck Manor got Birks?
So I'm actually right now the only one. My brother is almost always as religiously pro Birkenstock as I am. Right now he's rocking a pair of the thong flip-flops because I think his most recent pair of Birks has died and he hasn't gone around to getting a new pair yet.
Oh man, R.I.P.
And my pops is a big fan of like the sandals that have like the toe like cup that keep them safe. You know what I'm talking about? Like they're like aquatic sandals that have really good support and then also keep your toes safe. And they're good for like doing chores, you know, like around outside up here and all that. I've never been a fan because I like my toes to be free. I like my toes to breathe. That's why I like the Birks.
See, I like those. Right there because that feels like more protection. Like if I got something I got to do, I don't really have to think about it. I can just do it in those shoes right there.
Right.
And with the Birks, like I have to plan things out. Like if it's raining, I got to plan it. You know what I'm saying in my head? Like I got to think about it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I like that.
No idea how many times over the course of the years that my parents have lived up here that my brother or I will be splitting wood and wearing Birkenstocks, and our mother will just yell at us like, What are you doing? You're gonna put an axe through your toes. Like, well, yeah, maybe there's a non-zero chance of that happening, but
well, yeah, the reason she really feels like this because I'm sure you all had a few beverages before you got out there and started chopping some wood too.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know. I don't recommend that either, man. I think your mom's on the right path right here, man. I don't know about that.
She's right. You know,
Yeah.
It's one of those times where nagging is actually the correct response.
How dare she care for you?
All right. So before we move on and get to our slam stuff,
Okay.
did we officially cast our votes for favorite fit? I know that mine is the MJ and Kobe jacket with the paisley shorts. That's what I'm rocking with. Do you either of you guys have a favorite that's not that one?
Yeah, I'm going with the super villain.
You're going with Two-Face.
Yeah, I'm going with Two-Face. Yeah,
I'm sticking with the paisley shorts.
Yeah, okay, right on. Not mad at
with it.
Not mad at you. Not mad at you.
Oh,
Yeah,
after
sorry-
hours,
sorry to
Luke.
all the-
I see that comment, and that is
What'd he
not
say?
nice.
Check them
Looking
out,
like
baby. Don't let me get fresh
bowels
on you, boy. Come
Hey,
on,
man.
son.
Do you
Don't let
see
me
all
get
that
fresh
hair?
on you, boy.
You see all
Let me
that
get
hair?
fresh on you, son. Don't let me get clean on you, baby. You dig? That's what them braids look like when they braid it down. You tell me? You gotta braid them down like that, man. You gotta take them
those,
down, tuck them in, baby.
Are those fresh braids, Dave?
Yeah, got them done yesterday. So
Oh,
that's how they look, man.
they look.
I got them done,
beautiful.
but I got them done by
Crispy.
after I was Luke's mother.
Meanwhile, we got the perfectly coiffed front of the hair, goat over here, just like looking perfect as always.
Yeah.
And I just got like a sweaty mess hiding underneath this hat right now.
My hair doesn't fit underneath the hat, or I might be wearing them.
I don't think I've ever seen you wear a hat, Will.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen it.
Infrequently. It's really hard to contain, It just gotta. It's like your toes. You gotta let it.
I mean,
Gotta let it
breathe.
You
gotta let
have
it breathe.
you have like the brim of a hat as the front of your hairdo as it is.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I love you. Like some people, I think look
Built-in
silly with that.
shades.
That like Jimmy
Built-in
Neutron
shades.
like front swoop, like just like a shelf of hair, but you pull it off.
The Johnny Bravo. That's what he's got going on. Right
There you go.
It's that Johnny Bravo going
Now
on.
it's all
baby.
messed up.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Now let's spend the remainder of today's show talking about these crazy slam top 75 rankings. But before we do that, Big Dave,
First,
tell our listeners and viewers all the fun they should be having with PointsBet for Game 4 of the NBA Finals tonight.
Oh, yes. Game 4 of the NBA Finals is here, y'all. It's exciting, and I know you want to put some money on it. So the best way to do that is to download that PointsBet app and use that code CHGO when you sign up. Because if you do that right now, you'll get them two risk-free bets up to $2,000. But that's not it. If you make a $50 or more first-time deposit, you will receive a free CHGO membership, which unlocks all of that awesome web content, and you'll even get a free t-shirt of your choice from that CHGO locker. That's 2,000 in free bets, a free CHGO membership, a free t-shirt from that CHGO locker, all for making a $50 or more first-time deposit, and you do that only at PointsBet. And for the first time ever, that live NBA same game parlay. Oh, you can build that perfect live NBA same game parlay. You can do that only with PointsBet. Combine your favorite bets anytime during the game. And if you want more,
And Chicago, we know you do.
right on time, you can boost your live NBA same game parlays. You can watch live, parlay live, boost live, and partay live, and do it all with PointsBet. And if you're in this beautiful, wonderful state of Illinois, in this beautiful city of Chicago, where the weather will be hell next week, you can stay inside in that air conditioning, y'all, and download that PointsBet app and register your account from start to finish and do it all from your phone. So what are you waiting for? No clue, because once that game starts, y'all, you don't just bet. Tell them what they do, GOAT.
you live your bet life.
That's what he do. Oh, I got that in. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Yeah. Lawrence will be happy.
He will. He will.
He threw that in there. All right, guys. So we were blessed by Slam, who, like, dude, shout out to Slam Magazine and all of their, now modern era online content.
Seriously.
They gave us that dope DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine cover at the beginning of this 21-22 NBA season.
Yep.
And they recently gave us their top 75 best NBA teams of all time rankings. Obviously coinciding with the 75th NBA anniversary that the league has been celebrating all season long, which of course included their new 75 best players of all time list that they honored at halftime of the All-Star weekend. We got to see that amazing little moment of embrace between Dennis and MJ. You know, I was crying my little eyes out. Guys, upon first glance, I don't have too many issues with the way that this list goes, but I do have some issues. But so let's start with this, and this is probably the most important question, was which team was going to be number one? Was it going to be the 72-10, don't mean a thing without the ring, MJ's first full season back from baseball, Rodman joining the crew, dominant Bulls, or would it be a different team? Slam got it right. They have the 95-96 Bulls ranked as the greatest NBA team of all time. I'm not expecting any kind of counter argument from either of you, but to either of you, in a as best you can unbiased lens, say, I'm not sure if that still is true or ever was true. Either of you have a bone to pick with the 96 Bulls being number one?
I don't think so. I mean, obviously you guys are more expert on this than I am. But like the second three-peat team was just clearly more talented. I think we can all agree on that. Like Rodman, Kukoc, like they just didn't really have that caliber of top-end talent in the first three-peat. On top of that, obviously,
don't go disrespecting Horace Grant now. Don't you do that?
No, not
don't
at all.
Disrespect my guy
but
Horace.
I think you would agree with that, right? The combo of Rodman and Kukoc makes that a better team, and then on top of that, you have the 72 wins. I just feel like that's kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah. Go ahead,
Dave. No. You go.
I don't have a problem with him picking that team. For me, it was more so because of the rock star status of that team. Why they were number one. Coming into that season after going out in the second round, coming into that season, that's all was the talk was, can this team win 70 games? And all they did was get a rebounder. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really all they did. And Michael Jordan went back to the weight room. You know what I mean? Like, so for them to come in and just dominate the entire league from beginning to end, just a true domination. When they won 40 games, they were like 40-3, which is stupid. So they did it from beginning to end. And it was the most, coronation of a playoffs I had seen in quite a long time. Like, it just, you knew what was going to happen. Like, it was really never in doubt that they were going to kill everybody. And when they got to the finals, it truly wasn't in doubt that they were going to destroy and get that win against a team that had won like 65 games, which is also really insane. Because
that Sonics team was no joke.
Yeah, the Sonics was serious, and Bulls just made them look like children. And then to cap it off, winning that all on Father's Day, and then that iconic picture of Mike on the floor crying. It's Hollywood ending stuff. You know what I'm saying? Of what that was for the Bulls. So yeah, it was perfect.
They also had the greatest net rating of any team in the history of the game, which I think counts for something in terms of just being insanely good.
Yeah.
Best net rating and some of the best cable ratings of NBA Finals games ever. Which, will remain untouched because we now live in the era of, cord cutting. It was like just the storyline of it on top of how dominant the team was, adding in a wild card like Dennis, Tony ascending to, after his first few years adjusting to the NBA, being the like absolutely perfect quintessential 6-man role and embracing that role. A guy like Steve Kerr blossoming after finding his way around the league in his early years, Phoenix, Cleveland, a brief stint in Orlando, and then being a part of those middle MJ's playing baseball teams and then seeing him win his first ring. But everything about that team was dominant on the court and entertaining as hell as a sports story. So I think they got it right. I like if you look at some of the other options for teams that could have been selected, and Joey, maybe now's a good time to throw up the top 10 of this slam list for us to take a look at. The second team is the after KD arrived Warriors, 16-17, after they blew the 3-1 lead in against Cleveland in 2016. They got them number 2. I'm honestly maybe even a little bit surprised that they have them number 2.
Mm-hmm. You mean that you think that more Bulls teams should have been ahead of them?
No, that maybe those Lakers or those Celtics should have been ahead of them. I know. I mean, that 16-17 Warriors team was not the team that won 73 games and broke the Bulls' regular season record.
They did not, but I think that was clearly their most talented team. Obviously, first year with KD, they won the finals pretty easily. And yeah, I mean, just that group was able to coast a little bit more than the 73-win team, which obviously was like going for it. And we'll get to my thoughts on that team in a bit, I'm sure. But I think there's a real argument to be made that this Warriors team was better than the 1995-96 Bulls team and should be the number 1. I'm not sure I go there, but I think it's pretty clearly those are the top 2.
Yeah. Like I said, you can make that argument too. You're right, Will. Argument can be made, but the issue is the 72 wins. Like that's really what it is. Like the 72 wins and the complete domination that they put on that entire time. Because even if you're making that argument for the Warriors, you just look at the wins category, because you're right, that team was, you got Kevin Durant and you got Steph Curry. In my head, I'm like, how you don't have 75 wins? You know what I mean? Like that's an insane team, but that wasn't their goal. Their goal was to, get that championship, and that was fine. But the Bulls' goal was to dominate the entire league, period, and to crush everyone. And when that's your goal and you accomplish it the way they did, and without any doubt, that puts you at number 1.
Yeah, and this is like when you are in the pantheon of greats and you're trying to sort through them, you got to nitpick. And like, I think that's a fair nitpick there. They won 5 more games than that Warriors team did. Now we know what that Warriors team was capable of, because obviously they won 73 the year before that. And then you bring in Kevin Durant. But at the end of the day, the Bulls team had higher net rating. They won 5 more games and they won the championship that year. I mean, that's like as close to a perfect season as you'll probably ever see in the NBA.
Yeah, and basically all the few of the individual accolades too, because I believe Phil Jackson was coach of the year, Tony Kukoc, 6th man of the year, Jordan winning the MVP. All of them first team all NBA for Jordan. And I think Pippen was first team also, or he was second team.
Yeah, he was.
And then he had 3 of them. Am I right, Matt? You correct me on this.
And then MJ, Scotty, and Dennis were all defensive first team.
Right. That's insane. That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. So yeah, all of that stuff put together. Yeah, that's why they're there.
Who knows? We might see that again from the Bulls next season if they, follow Will's advice, get Gobert and Lonzo and Caruso both have full healthy seasons. The Bulls have 3 first team all defense.
Let's see.
Could happen.
Could happen.
The other thing that I think is really interesting about this, the top of the top 10, is that Lakers team, that 71-72 Lakers team, with Jerry West finally getting over the hump after losing to the Celtics again and again and again and losing all of those final series, is ranked above any Celtics team. Like that Lakers team is number 3. The Jerry finally won one is number 3, ranked above any Celtics team, including the 85-86 Celtics, was obviously a generation past Jerry West.
Right.
But most people take that 85-86 Celtics team and put it right there with the 95-96 Bulls, as it's one of these 2 teams is the greatest team of all time until the Warriors came around.
Yeah, and I felt that way about that Boston team too, because, just who was on that squad. And I mean, obviously I didn't see the 71-72 team. But yeah, like I don't have a problem with it. It doesn't bother me watching that. Like I wasn't like just like, oh, anything was too egregious within that top 10. It would just be a nitpicky thing, to move stuff around. But overall, I thought they did a really fair job, and that's really all you can really look for when you're looking at these kind of lists. Like, are you being fair? Like even having the Sixers at 8, I'm like, yeah, that's pretty right, because that's the 4-4-4. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
That's really special basketball team up there. So yeah, like I think every kind of era of greatness was kind of represented on this. So yeah, I don't have a real issue.
One more thing about the 16-17 Warriors team that I forgot to mention was that they went 16-1 in the playoffs, which is just nuts.
Yes.
I was a little surprised to see the 2000-2001 Lakers at 9. It felt like they were a little bit more dominant just in my memory of them than I think they actually were statistically. But that was another team that just absolutely ran through everybody in the playoffs. Only lost one game, obviously 5-game first round back in 2001. So, I mean, that team was just absolutely dominant with Kobe and Shaq. That was really like the peak of their powers. So, and had your boy Horace Grant. So don't forget him.
Also on that team.
But that team just feels like one of the most dominant teams ever because of how good at that time Kobe and Shaq were together.
They were.
Plus, you got Kareem's Bucks on there, the 70-71 Bucks, which I believe were they a 69 win team, Dave, or 67? I know that they were high up there on their regular season win total.
I don't remember how many they won that season, but I do remember that team because that was the Big O and Kareem
and young Kareem
Cinder at that time,
right?
But yeah, like, and they were very, very
66
young.
66 and 16.
Okay, that's dumb.
Okay, there you go. Yeah,
and they were very young, very, very young. Like Kareem was barely in his 4C or something like that, and I know Big O wasn't either. So they
was
were
a
super,
rookie.
Yeah,
or no, second year.
Yeah, they weren't far along and just super young, and it just worked. They came together and clicked, man, with those kind of just two massive talents, who are Hall of Famers. And yeah, man, they deserve that. Like, I'm not taking anything away from anything like that. They brought a Bucks title and something they hadn't seen until Giannis got there. So yeah, big time.
So
Bob Boozer, Bob Dandridge, obviously
the OG Boozer of the NBA.
Really good team. I want to hear, trying to put our biases aside here.
Sure.
What do you think about the, was it number 10, Joey? The 12-13 Miami Heat? What do you guys think about that? Where they are?
So the 12-13 Heat just snuck into the top 10 at number 10. And it may come as no surprise to either of you that I think that team has no business being in the top 10 greatest teams of all time. It's garbage. Get it out of there.
He literally said, put your biases aside. You answer this question.
I knew that's what he was going to say. And that's why I said, put your biases aside. But
I said that having put my bias aside.
Oh my God.
My basketball opinion, as well as my bias opinion, is that team has no business being in the top 10.
Oh man. I don't have a problem with them in the top 10. They were damn good, man. That team was stupid good. And you got LeBron, you got Wade, and you got Bosh on that team. And basically coming back and righting, I guess in their eyes, righting a wrong from not winning the previous season and getting in there and, finally getting that championship. And it was a big deal. I mean, Bron's basically first title, you know what I mean? Like, that's a big deal to start the legacy of LeBron James, as far as him winning, those championships. That was a big step for him, Oh, this is the second title. I don't think this is the first.
No, that's their
first title was 11-12 when they beat young KD.
You're right.
This one, they beat the Spurs after being down 3-2.
Then that's even more so that they belong in the top 10 because of how they won that. Because that shot by Ray Allen, dude. Like, come on. No, they were down, dude.
You mean after Ray Allen traveled?
He can't help himself. He just can't.
I don't blame him. I do think though that like when you just look at the history of the league, like I just think it's like pretty obviously the best individual season that LeBron had, both in terms of like the point where he was still at his peak athletically, but finally started to understand how to play the game at a level that you need to in order to win the championship, and was like unbelievable on defense. Probably could have been defensive player of the year that year. I mean, just that team, obviously D Wade and Ray Allen and Chris Bosh, just an immensely talented team. And then the other one I wanted to get your guys' opinion on, I have a really hard time evaluating this one, but the 72-win Warriors that obviously blew the 3-1 lead in the finals. I believe they were ranked 21st on this list, which they lost in the finals. They had the blow up, but like they won 73 games. It just feels a little disrespectfully low to me. I feel like they should be just outside the top 10.
I disagree. I think they're exactly
let's
what
hear
they're
it.
supposed to be, Will. You didn't win. Like, and that's the biggest hit. That's it. You did not win. Yes, you were a great regular season team. You did it. It was incredible. 73 wins, never been done before, ever. But when the Bulls won, and Matt, you remember the shirts they were walking around with don't mean a thing without the ring. And not only did you not win, you lost in a way no one had ever lost before in the NBA Finals either. So all that kind of comes into play and connects for me to be like, yeah, you're not gonna get in the top 20 on mine doing stuff like that. Like, and I get 73 is incredible, but you have got to close that. You've got to win and then not crash in an epic fashion either. So yeah, I don't have a problem with them at 21, honestly.
Me neither. This is not the Slam's top 75 best regular season NBA teams of all time. Best teams of all time.
Well, they made the finals and like won 3 games. I mean, it's not like they were just like okay or got bounced. Like they were a incredibly good team. Obviously, 73 wins, but Steph Curry was the unanimous MVP, first and only to do that. Came back from down 3-1 against the Thunder in the conference finals. Original Game 6 Clay game. I mean, like you cannot tell the history of basketball without talking about that season. Obviously, there was the blow up, the Draymond ejection in the finals, but I agree that you cannot have them in the top 10 because they didn't win. I think that this Slam list did a very good job of picking out teams from different eras and making sure that, like, I mean, obviously the players in the league today are just more talented than they were, 20 years ago or 30 or 40 years ago. That's how it goes. So I think they did a really good job of making sure that teams from different eras got on this list. But to me, 21 outside the top 20 is, I get it. They didn't win, but to me, they should have been significantly higher.
Well, and the funny thing about that is that, who is ranked at 20 is the 15-16 Cleveland Cavaliers.
And I think that's an example.
Like, it was kind of cheeky. They were like, okay, well, so here's the Cavs. We're going to put this 16 Cavs team with that incredible finals comeback as the top 20, number 20. And then right there at 21 is the 73-9 Warriors.
And I think they should have been higher too. Like that was probably one of the greatest finals performances of all time by LeBron and by the Cavs. I mean, how can you be 20th? That's just, they beat the best regular season team of all time. I don't think they were as dominant as some of these other teams, but for you to have such a historic season for the Warriors, to win that many games and to be as good as you were, and then to beat them and win the championship for the first time in Cleveland sports history, like that, I mean, that has just got to be higher to me. And I know there's 20. Like, it's really tough to like, when you say like somebody's got to be pushed up, that means you got to pull somebody out. So I get it. It's a very difficult thing to do, but I think that's like one of the greatest finals ever. And
I agree.
One of LeBron's greatest performances ever, and against one of the greatest teams ever. So
I don't disagree with anything you just said, Will, which to me makes it even more ridiculous that that's not the LeBron team that they snuck into the top 10. The 13 Heat really are number 10, and that LeBron 16 Cavs team is 20. Those are 10 spots apart, and that was in the top 10. That's backwards to me. That is absolutely backwards. Like, yeah, that Heat team in 13 was more regular season dominant, if you want to call it that. They had that, record setting, what was it? A 27 game win streak in the regular season, which,
but to your point, like
our beloved Bulls beat or snapped, by the way, but
hell yeah, they did. I was just going to say, like, this list you said is like,
I was at that game.
It includes,
sorry, Will, I was at that game though. It was sweet.
Good job, Joey.
Attaboy.
Flex. Yeah,
I was going to say, like,
real quick.
It's not a regular season thing. You have to win the championship. That's why you're saying that the Warriors couldn't be higher. At the same time, it's not just a playoffs or a finals ranking. It's best teams of all time. And I don't think that Cavs team had as dominant a regular season, and that pushed them a little bit back. So I get it, but I do think that is like probably, I don't know. I mean, it's like, I'm not a basketball historian in the way that I think a lot of people are. And you guys obviously know way more than I do historically about the game, but I just feel like that's got to be one of the best finals performances ever.
No, there's no argument at all that it definitely was. And it's incredible. And it will be talked about forever as that. But that point you just made
Blocked
is
by
the
James.
Point. Yes. Like, and the 3 by Kyrie, come on, dude. Like, that point you made is the point, though, Will. They weren't as dominant in the regular season. Like, that's the point. Yeah. Like, that's the whole point of it right there. And to even add to that Warriors argument of them being higher and why they're not because of the wins, the 71-72 Lakers, till the Bulls beat that record, they were the best team ever because they had won 69 games, and nobody had ever won that many games. They were 69-13, but the reason they're so high is because they won it all. And that's the important thing of it. You've got to finish it. You know what I'm saying? You got to finish your meal. You know what I mean? You can't leave nothing on the plate.
For sure.
And that's the reason they weren't.
Totally on board. But I think, I don't know, I can't remember coming through these exactly if this is the case. But if that's not the number one team that didn't win the championship, that would be criminal. Can we at least agree on that?
I believe it is. I believe every team ranked ahead of those 16 Warriors was a team that won the title that year.
And if you look at it this way, which I know is not, necessarily fair, but how many of the 20 teams in front of them would you take over the Warriors that year? Like if you could pit the 2013 Heat against the 2016 Warriors, who do you think would win in a 7-game series? I'm not sure, but I just think it's an interesting question.
Probably.
That is an interesting
question. I would probably take the Warriors on that.
Probably would take the Warriors on that.
So I feel like that if you're ranking the team, obviously the performance adds into that, but the quality of the team, I think also should be considered.
Fair point. I know who they're not beating. That's the number one team on their list, baby. I got them.
But that might be the only team that they don't beat.
That's fair. That's fair, Will. I'm fair. But honestly, I think I can make that argument for a few teams on this list about beating a couple of those top 10 teams. But that's a great point you made. I want to point out the most egregious thing on this list for me. And that was number 48. And number 48 was that Dallas Mavericks team that won the title. Was Dirk, and that crew. They won that title. They were at 48.
2011.
Yeah.
Yes, the 2011 team that won it all. They were at number 48. Ahead of them at number 47 were the 06 Miami Heat that beat that Dallas Mavericks team. And I found that to be ridiculous. And I'm like, wait, but we know why. Like, as John drilled in the Matt and I heads, Dwayne Wade shot 96 free throws in that entire series, which is absolutely insane. And then I'm looking at it, and first of all, Dirk had probably the greatest finals run ever. You know what I mean? Like, the people he beat and went against and the team that he had. And for him to finish 48 was crazy to me. But they even admit when they're writing this out, they said, sure, Dwayne Wade benefited from some friendly officiating. You're making the point right there. Like, how could you sit there and say that and then say that they're better? That made no sense to me. I thought that was the most egregious thing. And I was like, that's the only one that I thought was egregious was that, man. To have that Dallas team and then to have that Heat team right there over them. No, absolutely not. I didn't agree with that. And that's the only one for me.
I have a juicy question for you guys. I don't know if we need to go to a commercial break first, but
yes, we do. Yes,
I want to ask you one more.
All right.
Thank you very much for that segue, Will, and then we will get back to our gripes about this list. Today's episode brought to you guys by our friends at Strava Craft Coffee. If you want to start your day with a competitive edge, Strava CBD coffee is the game changer you're looking for. It's helped thousands of people improve their overall wellness and quality of life. Strava delivers delicious, fresh, roasted specialty coffee infused with organic broad-spectrum CBD. CBD from hemp doesn't make you high or hungry, but it does offer real benefits that can help you feel alert and focused without those coffee jitters. Live your day more balanced with less anxiety, fewer aches and pains. Plus, including CBD in your daily routine can even help you enjoy more restful sleep so you wake up feeling your best. And the best part is Strava is all about quality. Everything is small batch, fresh, and shipped straight to your door. Strava even also offers concentrated full spectrum CBD tinctures for those looking for a more traditional CBD delivery system. And right now, our CHGO listeners and viewers can save 25% off their entire purchase when you use code CHGO25 at checkout. That's 25% off your entire order at StravaCraftCoffee.com when you use promo code CHGO25 at checkout. You know, I'm up here at the Mish House this weekend, boys, and I didn't have my Strava this morning. And I missed it. Especially because, we're out here doing some back-breaking manual labor up here, and I got to make some pains. I need my Strava.
Got to have it, man. He needs his Strava. Don't worry. He'll be ready for you when you get back, and you'll be back to smooth and cool, sir, in no time.
Just in time for me to pull my other quad at our softball game on Monday night. All right, Will, where were we leaving off? You had a thought.
So Dave mentioned Dirk having one of the greatest finals runs ever in 2011. Hard to disagree with that. That made me think of this year's Boston Celtics.
Yes.
Having gone through Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving in the Brooklyn Nets, having gone through Giannis Antetokounmpo and the defending champion Milwaukee Bucks, and then getting through Jimothy Gets Buckets in the Miami Heat on their way to go face the Warriors. Now, they obviously haven't won yet, but this Warriors team is very good. I think it's one of the more difficult finals runs that you could think of. So if they win in 6 or 7 games, where do you rank this Celtics team? And then, Matt, to appease you and your gambling habits, if the Warriors win, where would you place them?
That's a great question. But I would really have to think about it and see a list of it because Dirk comes into my head. Always put that Jordan run in 93 up there because of the people he took out and then ending up being the MVP in Charles Barkley, who was the best team in the NBA record-wise that year. So I always put him up there too. But I don't know. I would have to, off the top of my head, without seeing anything, I would say it'll be in the top 7, maybe. I think it would probably be there.
That's high. You have to also remember how dominant they were to finish off the year with that 15.4 net rating.
Oh
for
my
like
God, this is absolute nonsense.
I mean, listen to who he beat, and not only did they beat Kevin Durant and Kyrie, they swept them. You know what I'm saying? Like, got them out of there.
Asterisk.
Okay, because of Ben Simmons.
They beat KD in the Nets. That was KD and a bunch of garbage.
No, they didn't. They swept them. Cool. That's a difference. They swept.
They swept KD and a bunch of garbage.
Who people were picking to win that series.
Defending champion Giannis MVP Bucks without Chris Middleton, his most reliable co-star. They
had to. No. They had to come back and beat them.
Do not besmirch the good name of Jimmy Butler.
Well, yeah, you can besmirch that. But I'm saying you can't besmirch that Giannis one because they had to come back from that, Matt. They had to win the next 2 games.
They shouldn't have been trailing Milwaukee in the first place. They blew game 5. They should have handled Milwaukee more easily than they did.
No, I give them credit for coming back and actually getting the next 2. That's important, dog. That's a big thing. Like being the MVP like that.
I mean, I'm sorry. Will, I love you, buddy, but you're like, well, how great is the Celtics team? Because they took out this team and then this team and then this team led by this star and this star and this star. If you put in all of the context around it, it is much more underwhelming to me. Like, I agree with Rex in the comments. Whichever it is, if it's Celtics or Warriors this season, who comes out on top, I'm putting neither of those in the top 20. I'm probably putting neither of them in the top 30. Neither team had a dominant regular season. The Celtics had a great finish to their regular season, but they started out looking like a bunch of garbage. Neither of these teams are top 20 worthy.
Yeah.
Are you talking about teams or are you talking about players? Or when we saying runs? Because when you said that, Will, I was thinking about just Jason Tatum. When you said that, making that run.
I was talking about
like teams. I was talking about. Team. Okay.
This was ranked on the list of 75.
No. I take that back. I take that back. I was thinking players because when I say final, that's why I said Dirk put on that finals run. I was thinking individual wise like that. But no, team-wise, no, they are not. No, absolutely not. I would not even have that in the top 20. He's right. He's absolutely right on that. I wouldn't do that. No. Go ahead.
I think right around 30, though. I mean, this team had a stretch where they were literally the best team of all time statistically for like 2.5, 3 months of the regular season. And I think their path to the finals, you know, whether you agree or not, I mean, those are some tough teams to take out.
Yeah, man.
Especially, you know, the Bucks. Obviously, Chris Middleton wasn't playing, but I really respect this Boston team. I think they will win it probably in 7, maybe even 6 at this point, the way the Warriors played. And I'm very excited for a game tonight. But just given how dominant they were in the regular season and then this path and Jason Tatum at 24, you know, really taking a leap. I think that's like probably around the 30 range, maybe a little bit further back.
Yeah.
Warriors, I agree, I think would be pretty far down the list. This was clearly their least talented championship run.
Of the Warriors' 6 titles appearances in 8 years, you could easily make the argument that this is the least stacked team, because not only is now Kevin Durant not in the picture, but, you know, the core is old or older.
Yeah, Iguodala's not playing. Draymond has not been nearly as
their
effective.
Their role players aren't as
past.
reliable, and their depth is not as reliable as some of those earlier teams.
Right. True indeed.
All right. We're almost out of time, but the last thing I wanted to get from each of you real quick is, do you take issue with where the Bulls championship teams are ranked with respect to each other? So here it is real quick. Obviously, 95-96 came in as the number 1 overall best team of all time. As you saw in our top 10 graphic, the 90-91 Bulls were the only other Bulls team to get into that top 10. They came in at number 7. Then it's the 96-97, Kerr hits the shot, team at 12, so just outside the top 10. The MJ's final shot 98 team at 17, so also still in the top 20. The 92 beat the Blazers, MJ Shrug, also top 20 at 19, and the only Bulls title team outside the top 20 is Paxson for 3, 93 beating Charles and the Suns at 22. So let's just for a moment acknowledge how awesome it is that the Bulls almost had 6 title teams inside the top 20 of the best NBA teams ever. They were 2 spots away. But do you take issue with how those teams are ranked compared to one another? Because I might have a bone to pick.
It feels I would be nitpicking at it, honestly, if I had the bone. But I'll leave that for you, Matt, to be honest. But the Paxson team I would have in the top 20, because I just talked about them winning your 3rd title in a row, something that hadn't been done since the Boston Celtics did it. And
Magic
something
didn't do it. Larry didn't do it.
Yeah, nobody. Isaiah, none of them. And for them to not be in the top 20 and you had never seen it before, at least anybody in my lifetime, your lifetime, or Will's lifetime had never seen that happen ever. So in some nations, like this is not going to happen in the history of basketball. Nobody can do this. I don't see how you leave that out of the top 20, but I'm not going to take super issue with it like that. But if I had to pick one, it would be that 92 team, only because that was my favorite Bulls team, because that was the year I call that the glow year. After beating the Lakers, I think they just went into the next season and it was like, I don't care who you play. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody's beating us, period. We're better than everybody. And it was just magical things happened in that season and culminated with that finals, you know, with Michael hitting those 6 threes, you know, getting that 35 points, you know, hitting you with the shrug, you know, the Bobby Hansen, you know, game 6 where he hits the 2 3-pointers while Mike is sitting down. Like, those kind of things happening. Like, it was a magical run for me, and I love that team. So I would have had them a little bit higher, but like I said, I'll leave it to you, Matt. I'll leave that to you. But go ahead, Will.
Yeah, I would leave most of this to Matt, but I do think there's a good case for that one. Statistically, the 2nd best net rating of all time. Obviously, you know, I said this about LeBron too, but I think there's something to be said for going into your season after winning your first title at age 28. I think that's a moment in Jordan's career where he's at that peak athleticism while also being as dominant and just assassin-like as you can be on the basketball court from a skill perspective. I think that like inflection point is a really interesting one for players who are sort of at that peak. And then, I mean, just like the legendary shrug and the finals run they had. So I think there's an argument to be made that one could be a little bit higher. I think I mentioned this too. Like, it seems like they tried to do a good job of spreading them out, but I mean, these are all Michael Jordan led, 6 rings in 8 years. Like, I feel like they could all be in the top 25, right?
Yeah, and they are, all of them are in the top.
I'm sorry, the top 20.
Right. But you're right. All of them could be in the top 20. But that's why it doesn't bother me so much when I say you had 6 teams in the top 25. Because for me, that just sounds just as amazing and as dominant as anything. And you're undefeated and you didn't lose. You know what I mean? Like, none of these titles, these are all yours. So yeah, I don't have a real particular big issue with it, but like I said, I'll leave it to Matt to bring that on home.
So a couple bones to pick. And I do agree with a lot of what you guys just said. As much as I like to roll my eyes at Paxson being, the reason that they clinched that third and final of the first three-peat, that team and that being the first three-peat since the Celtics dynasty, you cannot ignore that. The fact that that's ranked as the worst of the 6 Bulls title teams is crazy to me. Plus, that Suns team led by MVP Charles was no joke that they beat in the finals. That team was tough as hell.
It really bothers me when people say, like, the Bulls never had to take anybody out. Like, the league was so much worse in the night. Like, go away.
Look back to the 92 Barcelona Dream Team. 2/3 of that team unquestionably considered the greatest assembly of basketball players as a team ever. 2/3 of that team don't have rings. Why? Michael freaking Jordan and the 90s Bulls.
Fact.
That's I love and
the other third was on the Bulls.
He just beat his way to 6 titles, beating, plumbers and mailmen and carpenters and whatever.
Get out of here.
True. At least, 2 of them. But so, okay. The 91 team being the other team in the top 10, is that about story? Is that about the legend of MJ and the Bulls finally overcoming the Pistons and getting their first title, or is it about how good that team is? Because that team won 61 games, if I recall. The 97 Bulls that backed up the greatest Bulls team and the greatest NBA team of all time went 69-13. 69-13 and also had a fairly easy route through the playoffs to win their 5th title. I don't get the 91 Bulls being ranked ahead of the 97 Bulls. And in similar ways, the 98 Bulls being ranked ahead of 92 and 93. Again, is it about the narrative of the NBA? Jordan's first title and Jordan's last title have to be ranked, somewhere earlier on in where you're ranking the Bulls teams. That 98 team was falling apart. That 98 team was held together by Michael Jordan's insane need to win and some spit and some duct tape. That team was not better than 92 or 93, which is why sometimes I kind of roll my eyes when Bulls fans are like, I can't believe Jerry Krause blew him up. They couldn't let him stick together for one more. Dude, that Bulls team in 98 fell across the finish line, dragged there by Michael.
It's true. But I will say this, Matt, for that 91 team, that team lost 2 games in the playoffs. And they swept everybody. They whooped everybody's ass. And the biggest one was the defending champs, was the Detroit Pistons. They swept them in the conference finals. Got them up out of here. And then, you play the Lakers and you lose 1, and then you gentlemen sweep them on your way to your first title. So I think that plays into it as well.
That's a fair counterpoint to that 90-91 team being ranked 2nd of the 6. That's a fair counterpoint. Once they finally cleared that hurdle, they were off and running.
Goodbye.
But I think the biggest takeaway here is that the Bulls have 6 title teams that are in the top 25 of these Slam rankings. And again, thank you to Slam for doing this, because this is really cool and really fun.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Last thing. I cannot believe that they didn't put any of Russell's Celtics in the top 10. That to me is egregious.
I agree.
I know part of me is just like a LeBron hater and a Heat hater, and I don't think that they deserve to be number 10. Right behind them at 11 is the 64-65 Celtics. Russell Celtics, arguably Russell's best Celtics team of that Celtics dynasty. You're telling me that LeBron needing game 6 and 7 to beat the Spurs is better than that Russell team, get the hell out of here.
That's hard to argue right there. Because I think that you got to have a Celtics team in there. Like,
how do you not have a Celtics?
They won 8 in a row. Like, you got to give them one, dog. Like, goodness gracious.
You got to put one of those teams in the top 10.
Yeah,
that's outrageous.
I agree.
All right, that's it. We're out of time. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on Fun Friday. I got to go. I don't know if it's chores time or beer o'clock at the brewery, but either way, I got to go. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. Will, have a wonderful weekend down there in Brazil. Come back soon. We miss you. Follow Will on Twitter at @Won'tGottlieb. Check out his latest work on our website, all-CHGO.com. Big Dave's on Twitter at BAWL Sports. I'm Bulls_Peck. We are CHGO_Bulls. We'll be back
to
on
6,000 followers, so I dress up like Kyle Korver. Do it.
And
do it.
Skip right past 4, so I don't have to eat vegetables. All right, y'all. Have a great weekend. We appreciate you. We love you, Bulls Nation. Until Monday, see Red be good.